All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this assignment is going to be on Study Island. So the sheet that there's going to be no sheet actually. So I'm just going to do my work here. Watch the video. The assignments should be, or I'm sorry, the problems in this assignment should be the same as the things on Study Island. Let me know if not. But I checked and I went through almost every problem. Kind of just scrolled pretty quickly, but so let me know if there's anything that is not in your in these notes. All right. Now, this is just ordering and comparing numbers, basically. And so if you're looking at these, we want to basically put these in order. Now, I'm going to check real quick to make sure that it really doesn't matter if you do greatest to least or least to greatest. I'm going to check what the worksheet wants me to do. All right, and the worksheet wants us to do least to greatest. So we're going to do that. We're going to order these from least to greatest. Now you're looking at these. Let's look at number 1. 0, negative square root of 2, square root of 5, 13 over 4, and 35%. Now you're thinking, how are we going to compare these numbers? Here's my suggestion, and this is what makes it the easiest. Convert everything to decimals. If you convert everything to decimals, it's going to make things a lot easier for you. Okay, so we have 0. Let's go ahead and do the square root of 2. That's 1.414. Now, here's what you're going to do. Just round it probably to we'll do 3 just to be safe. So negative 1.414. All right. Just to be safe, square root of 5. You're just going to put in your calculator. That is positive 2.236. 13 divided by 4. 13 over 4, just do division, 3.25. And 35% is, you just move the decimal place 2 over, so over 2, so 0.35. Now, the reason this is so nice is because, first of all, none of these are close. If they are close, then you can compare down to the tenths, the hundredths. We'll probably have to do that here in a second, or at some point. Biggest thing to be careful with is a lot of people see 35, the number 35, like, oh, they're the biggest. It's the biggest, definitely. But remember, 35% is just 0.35 of something. It actually means 35 out of 100. We go up to 100%. So from least to greatest, here's the tricky-ish part. You need to make sure that you're writing these. Don't write the numbers that you found. So the smallest is obviously the negative square root 2, then 0, then 35%, because 0.35, that is smaller, that's a small fraction. And negatives are always going to be on the other side of 0, obviously, so negative 0, 0.35, and then the 2.236, that was the square root of 5. Try and avoid that squeaking, and then 13 over 4. There we go. All right, we'll roll right through these ones then. So you have 3, the number 3, you have 0.90 would be 90%. The square root of 10, 3.16. I'm not even going to do the 3 over 4 in calculator, that's 0.75. The negative 1.5 is already in a decimal. So smallest to biggest. Smallest is going to be negative 1.5. The next up, we're looking for the next smallest. Now, none of these are negative, so we're looking for the smallest number here. It's not 3. Now, which one's smaller, 0.90 or 0.75? Little trick here would be this. What's bigger, 90 or 75? Well, 75. You can compare them just like that. 0.75 is smaller than 0.9. Oops. I made the mistake. Make sure you're writing it. It's easy to do this, and you won't have to write it. The last assignment, you will have to do it for 1 or 2 of them, but even then, I don't think you have to write it. But when you write it, they're going to look for the original. 90%. And then 0.75. Oh, the number 3. That's what was where that other number was, and then the square root of 10. All right, let's do one more. Yeah, 2, negative 3. So I'm going to have to divide 3 divided by 7. Negative 0.42. You usually only have to, I was going to 1 to be safe, but you can pretty much get away with 2 decimal places. 0.75 is already in a decimal. 70% is 0.70. And then 3 over 2 is negative 1.5. All right, and we're looking for the smallest, so they're going to be negatives. Now, what's smaller, negative 1.5 or negative 0.42? Keep in mind, the bigger the negative, the less it is. The bigger the negative, the less it is. So negative 1.5, negative 3 over 2. Then you do negative 3 over 7. That takes care of our negatives. Next would be either 0.70 or 0.75. Think about what's smaller. The 70, 0.70 is smaller, 0.75. And I made the mistake again. Should be 70%. 0.75, and then finally the 2. All right, and I'm gonna not do the last one here. So, all right, these will go very quick. Now, if you have this, a number line, because I don't know if that'll come up. I think it does come up in Study Island. You're just gonna place it where it belongs. I would make everything a decimal again. So negative 0.2 is easy because it's already in a decimal. Let's put that. I'll make that one red. Let's put that one. So we know it's going to be between 0 and negative 1. It's going to be pretty close to 0. So sorry about the squeakiness. Negative 0.2. I got to try and avoid the squeakiness. All right, 7 divided by 10 is 0.70. Or I'm sorry, 0.7. 0.7. I'll do that one in black. And that is going to be right about here. So 7 over 10. If you would have to write this, you would label it. Negative 1, that's an easy one. Goes right there. If it's on the number, you don't have to label it. Obviously, you're not going to have to write it, but just as a heads up, if you do have to write it. And then the square root of 2 is 1.41. 1.41. I'll do that one in purple. 1.4, right about there. Square root of 2, and then obviously negative 4 is an easy one as well. Let's just do that one in blue. All right, again, just make everything a decimal. All right, finally, comparing them. You'll definitely see this. You'll see this on the third assignment as well. You're just deciding which one's greater than or less than or equal to. So when you look at these, you got 0.03 and then 0.003. They both look very similar. This one has an extra 0. Keep in mind the names of the places. This one goes to the hundredths. This one goes to the thousandths. So it's saying 3 out of 1,000. And this is saying 3 out of 100. Which one is a smaller amount? 3 out of 100 is a bigger amount. So you want to make it, you want to just have a sign saying, well, this one's bigger. All right, 1.1 and 1.05. This one is a little bit easier. You can just compare it as, you can even do this, 1.10, 0.05. They're both 1, and then they have some kind of additional amount. 0.10 is bigger than 0.05. Again, think about it. This says 10 out of 100. This is only 5 out of 100. And again, you don't have to do all that. You can just say, well, the decimal. The other thing is check this out. the decimal place, the first decimal place is a 1, and that's bigger than the first decimal place there, which is a 0. All right. Negative 2.75, negative 2.5. Now, these are already in decimal. Keep in mind, you'll have to convert anything that's not, and we'll do that on the last one. So which one's bigger here, negative 2.75 or negative 2.5? Now, be careful. Based on these two, you're thinking, oh, well, hey, look, 7 is in the tenths, 5 is in the tenths, 7 is bigger, so I'm going to go like this, right? But it's negative. And basically what this means is this is bigger, but it's bigger in the negative direction. So this is actually smaller. So it goes this way. Think about it on a number line. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. This one is going to be here, and negative 2.5 is going to be here. And if you think of a number line, it goes like this. The bigger numbers are always to the right. 2 is bigger than 1, 1 is bigger than 0, so that means negative 2.5 is bigger than negative 2.75. Be careful there with negatives for sure. And the last one, you may have to convert. It says negative 3 over 4, negative 0.75. We'll take 3 divided by 4. It ends up being the same. They are equal. That is a possibility. You might have an equal sign. All right, guys, other than that, take care.